Oh, I thought we had a volunteer. It's fine. It is purely for you. So go away, think about the things you've got, put down, think about how you should be using those more. I would imagine that some of you, probably most of you, haven't got things like that on your CV at the moment. Things where you've actually been proud of what you've done, where you've stood out, where you've made a difference, where you've added value. I see a lot of CVs. It's something I want to see more of, because it's just a list of things you can do. Believe me, that's every CV. So you need to be thinking more about yourself, how you'll sell yourself. And we're going to come up to that a bit later as well, when we talk a bit more about CVs later on. But I want you to start thinking about yourself, and what you do that's positive, where you add value. Because that's actually your selling points. That's why companies would want testers. They want testers who are adding value, who are making a difference. And you need to be good at selling yourself in that way, talking about the things you do well. So do start thinking about that. Does anybody like trivia questions? I'm going to ask a trivia question. It has nothing to do with testing. It's just one of those trivia questions I really love asking. Did somebody just look it up? Somebody just gave the answer, and if you hadn't looked it up, if you knew the answer, I'm incredibly, yeah. But if you looked it up, that is cheating, but that's okay. Yeah, the official longest country name in the world is the UK. 47 letters long. It is 10 letters longer than the second longest country name in the world. It's just one of those things. You think of the UK, well, that's 2 letters, though. That's 47 characters long. Fine. We will move on. We talked about how testing is changing, how it's changed over the last 20 years, and we talked last night about how it's going to change. It's going to keep changing. If we want to stay in testing throughout our career, we have to know that it's changing, and we have to keep up to speed. We cannot just do the testing the way we've always done testing. So we have to keep up to speed, we have to keep going, we have to keep learning new things. So how do we stay relevant? What kinds of things do we need to do? Because if we don't stay relevant, if we keep doing the same things, we're going to be left behind. We're going to find it harder and harder to be employed, basically, as testers, if you're still doing the same way as you used to 5 or 10 years ago, or if you're still doing the same way you're doing now in 2 or 3 weeks' time, you're going to struggle. So we have to stay relevant. I have another exercise. I am sorry, you are going to talk about yourselves again. I want you to start thinking about how you learn about new things, how you stay relevant. So go back into your groups, 15 minutes, talk about books you've read that have really helped you, people you follow, people you should follow, conferences you should attend. The good news is, on that last one, you are attending a conference. This is actually a really good thing. That means you are on the journey of trying to stay relevant, trying to learn more stuff. Talk about
discipline person.
Those aspects we looked at, look through those. So start having those discussions in the workplace as well, because we shouldn't wait until we come to a conference to have these kind of conversations. So do think about doing other things. I'm going to be trying to write the book names down. If I really struggle, I might ask you to come up and write them. Right, we'll go around again. Did you have a book you would advise that we should all read? Yes. It's a Malay. It's a Malay. That's good. That's good. Part of me being here is to learn stuff from you. It's actually why I go to conferences. I go to conferences to learn stuff. For work, this is actually down as my training day. These are my training days. This is where I'm training, I'm learning about conferences. Even though I'm speaking, I'm learning more than I do any other part of this. This is where I go to conferences. This is where I learn things. Thank you. Okay, you're going to have to tell me what that book is and what that means. Okay.
It's about motivation.
Okay, inspiration. Okay. Nice. Good. Thank you. Team further. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that book? Okay. And the motivation? Going very motivational so far? Motivation is good. Motivation is necessary. Who wants it? Oh, no, we want it. And I am learning from this. I'm learning how we work, how you think, kind of differences between us, and also the similarities between us. Motivational.
It's about stoicism and also, everyone is like going to be perfect, but for right holidays, it's about progress. Think about progress, not perfection. That's one of the things that I remember that.
Okay, and that's really good. I think, especially as testers, you know there is no such thing as perfection. That's one of the first things you learn as a tester. There is no such thing as perfection. understanding that, I think, is incredibly useful and powerful.
Then we go on to
Okay.
get a drug that makes you smarter, and as it gets smarter, the world around you will change.
Okay. Nice. It is non-fiction. Fiction. Maybe what is fiction? I have heard of it. I made a film. Right. Okay. Thank you. It is for me really interesting workshop going on. Yeah. Any more from that? I can't tell if that's a yes or a no, I don't want to. Right. Oh, there's a thinking face. That means I haven't last for a while. We're looking at being relevant. Actually, there's a lot of things to be learned from the past. If you looked at Bob's talk yesterday, it's about looking at how we've been testing over the last 200 years, and there's still things to be learned from how we test over the last 200 years. So, not all ideas are new. Does anybody have any more they'd like to add to that list? Yeah? I think it's probably because books about testing have such long titles that you don't want to get there right all there. Thank you. An introduction to the personal software process. Excellent. Thank you. Those are brilliant. I am going to steal those. I am going to try and read as many of those books as I can. Half the top one. Unless there's an English translation somewhere, I will look. I will try. I'm impressed at the range, impressed at the kind of different things we've covered. I was going to worry if there was no books about testing on the list of books to be read by testers. Right. These are the ones I came up with. Right, explore it. Has anybody read Explore? Okay, go away, find it, read it. It is the most practical book about testing things. It should be like a handbook of how to test things. Agile testing, thank you. It should be the handbook if you test in Agile. Basically, Kristen and Gregory, so this Kristen and Janet Gregory, they are basically the queens of Agile testing. They wrote the book, literally wrote the book on testing Agile. I've read 6 of these, I haven't read all of them. I have read Eagle by Design. That seems fascinating. You can recommend it to me. It's about how things are developed and how things are developed to ensnare the customers, basically. How to draw the customer in. It might be something the customer doesn't want, but it's developed to kind of drag you in and make you do things you don't want. The marketing blurb is to sell your product to potential customers. Yes, but that's what the product is. That's not what you've done. That's the product added value. That's not you added value. I want to know how you add value in the development of the product, not what the product does to your customers. It's about you. It's all about you. Passion. You can. So we've talked about going to conferences, following people on LinkedIn or blogs. If you say in your CV you are doing those things, I can see you have a passion for testing, you actually care about what you're doing. These are the books I've read recently. This is what I want to try and do next. These are the courses I'm thinking about. Not necessarily these are the courses I've done in a half a page, but why do I want to do that course? What's my next step? What's my goal? I'm striving to get to here. This is what I'm trying to do in my career. Tell me that. Don't just give me a list of stuff you've done in the past that everybody else is going to tell you. Be original. Do things in a different way. Make your CV stand out. So out of those 1,040, 2 people sent me a cover letter saying why they wanted to work for me in my company. 2 people out of 1,040. Both of those people I said, right, let's get them in, let's interview them. They did something different. They stood out just by spending half an hour putting a cover letter against their CV. So really original. Think about how you are selling yourself. Think about the person like me on the other end who is seeing your CV for the first time. Why are they going to look at it? Why are they going to look at it? Actually, having a photograph of yourself, sometimes it's so different, I'll at least look at it a bit more than I would have done if there's no photo. Most don't have a photo. You can do it slightly differently. Be original. There's more time for a little look. And it should be fairly obvious, but communication, again, you are going to be writing reports, emails, messages, documents, process documents. So many different things have to be communicated and written. It isn't just a question of what as a tester, we need something else from testing, we write a bug report. That's not what we do anymore. So I need to know you can write well. And the number one way I'm going to find that out is by reading your CV. So I want you to take those last couple of slides and start thinking about your own CV. This is an individual one. You don't have to discuss it with everybody else. So go back to your CV, have a look, see what you've got there. Start thinking about, is there anything I need to change? Do I need to make it more? Do I need to... Have I got so many things coming basically from one section to the other? So spend 10 minutes now just looking at your CV, just trying to work out how you can do your CV and make it more sellable or saleable. Yes. Yeah. So the 2 candidates I tried to put is those 2 candidates, how did they actually get the job? How did they stand out? They had well-written CVs, so they got past the CV stage. They had things about them that were original. They weren't superlative, but I knew I could work with those 2 people. So the first one we interviewed, who gave the job to, was the most nervous person I've ever seen in an interview. I mean, honestly, this person was so nervous in the interview. But that's okay. Nervousness is okay. We'll get nervous, anxious from time to time. And we kind of try to look past that and see what she was actually saying. So if you were here this morning, I did the registration test as part of the class this morning. I did a registration page. I asked people to say how they tested. She was the only person who said, right, give me 5 minutes, I want to think about it. The only person I've interviewed this year who said, I want to just have a bit to think about it. So that kind of showed me that she was actually put some analytical thought behind some critical thinking. She wasn't just blurting out an answer. She actually wanted to think about it first. So even though she was really nervous, she was showing behaviours that nobody else was showing. And I knew from that, even though she was nervous, I could work with her. And she was doing a good job. The second person was a completely different person. He was a bit more into test automation, but very passionate. He could talk well about things. I gave him a hard time in the interview, not in a bad way, but I wanted him to talk more about stuff. So he, on the registration page test, he did probably better than anybody, but I drilled him further. I said, okay, you've got this, what other things do you do? Have you thought about this? Why haven't you mentioned that? And we had a good discussion about it. So the fact that he could talk about these things, he wasn't worried about being shown other stuff, and he was quite passionate about wanting to learn more about it. So those are the two people I hired this year, and that's why I hired those two. Yes? Okay. I'm going to talk about that. So the question is, if somebody is nervous and anxious in the workplace, is that a negative thing, or what's the expectations? I think you have to look at the set of your work. If you think they are so nervous they're going to come in and not be able to work with other people, then maybe that's an issue. This person was nervous because it was an interview. You want to support people though, you don't want to say no to people just because they are initially nervous. So you do it on an individual basis. We talk a little bit more about these days about neurodiversity and the different types of people and how people operate differently. So you should try and be able to deal with that as long as it still means they can do their job. If it affects their performance and their ability to do their job, then it's an issue. Some people you can find different ways of working. Actually, it's not an issue. But if it's such an issue that they can't perform the job, then that's something you have to do. That answers it.
If there is a condition that employees high performance in every project delivery, does that he or she can feel to confront the topic as something?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. The other thing to say is, if you're managing people, people have highs and lows. I've gone through highs and lows. About 5 years ago, I started suffering from depression for a period of time, and I had to deal with that. And it's pretty tricky. So I know the quality of my work went down over that period, but I was able to be open with my team. So I actually told them I was suffering from. They supported me, and then we kind of got over it together. But you know that people do have peaks and troughs. Some people will have times where things happen in their life that they just can't deal with. Lose relatives, they'll have divorces, things will happen. Some people have children, and then suddenly it's like, well, half night and you deal with children. But you do what you can to support those people. As long as it's not going to be a permanent thing, then it's okay. You know people go up and down, you just have to support them as much as you can. If it's still an issue after like 6 months, maybe then look at, is there something else you can do? Maybe we can move into a different job where there's less stress. When you look to do that, you try and support the person in whatever way is best for that individual.
Any example of series based on your preferred formats? Because series, people might have their own style of writing.
Yeah.
From your experience.
Not too cluttered. You get people who put lots and lots of different columns in, and then you're looking about all over the place trying to work out what you're actually trying to do. Fairly simple. You can have a paragraph or two that some of the paragraph about what you are, what you're passionate about, what you like doing, what you're looking for. Maybe a small section of highlights about things you've done in the past, and then basically straight into your career. One of the ones I had recently, they didn't actually start talking about their career until page 3, and by then I was lost. You told me all the tools you've ever used, but you haven't told me anything about yourself. There should be a little bit about you, yourself, your persona, your passions, some highlights at the top so we can see if you've kind of got the stuff that we're after, but then talk about your career, what you've actually done. I don't mind about hobbies at the end. Actually, hobbies show me something different about it. So it means that we can actually maybe talk about something different apart from just work. Because I'm hiring you as a person, I'm not hiring you as just a tester. I'm hiring you as somebody I can work with, who I can talk to, and you are a person with all of these other things going on in your